You have another second one in the entrance of the city. You have farmers and you have people who buy and sell, no? It's both. So some produce are really very good. Alors les citrons caviar, ça se vend un peu? Si. Bien. Tu as eu les livres finalement? Putain, mais ils m'ont fait n'importe quoi avec les livres. C'est pareil. Celui-là, allez, celui-là. Donc, tout ça is the countryside of Menton, who is Gorbio, Castellar, Sospel, are the Monti, are the small village, who is the countryside. It's a really very rich area because we have the sea and we have the mountains, no? Alors, on va prendre 5 cabarbajois, and you know, because it's very nice.
Ah, so it's hot.
Yes. Très bien. One is like this.
Good, thanks.
Please. In France, we have plenty of now, you know, of cheese, and that here is a very big producer area of goat cheese. Regarde comme si on serait des monstres quand on a une caméra. Tu vas bien?
Ça va mon chéri et toi? Allez, bonne journée.
Il faut chanter, tu ne chantes plus. C'est beau, hein, Naples, c'est vrai. Hein. C'est quel été que tu changes? Allez. Ciao. And that is even, you know, I say it's really a restaurant on the border, but on the cultural border, because France and Italy so two big food cultures, and the border between the sea and the mountains, like you can see, you know, it's a very rich area. French influence, Italian influence, but you have the sea, the mountains, and really that make a restaurant in the border without borders, because I'm not from here. A different vision of you know, a guy who really grown here, grown with soca, with no, for me everything is like a discovery, you know. I am like a child every time, because for me every time something is I discover something new in the area. I find this fantastic restaurant 2006. I never be before in the area, never be in Côte d'Azur, but when I came to visit the place, it was already a restaurant, but it was closed for many years, and I saw this view. It was immediately I say, I want to open my restaurant here. I was very young. I was 29 years old. I was without partners, without a lot of money. It was something like a little crazy to open a restaurant in Côte d'Azur, in a restaurant like this with few floors and with this amazing view. Practically when I saw the restaurant, I fell in love, but I really didn't know how will be the restaurant. And then so I decided to move to Menton, and we opened on the 1st April 2006. So it was really very fast, was in the rush. We was just 3 people in the kitchen, me and 2 other cookers, and 2 people in the dining room. Today we are 42, 43 people. We open with a lot of wishes, energy. The just thing was to start to cook, not to think it about the concept, not to think about the history, because we We didn't know the place, we didn't know the people, we didn't know the culture, so we was really loose. For us, the restaurant was just a building. Today, the restaurant became the whole territory after all this time, all these years. For us, the most important was to cook as good as possible. And that's work. That's work. It was very difficult in the beginning to waiting the guests coming. It was like suffer, very tough for us. But I think it was a good time for thinking to discover this fantastic area between France, Italy, the Mediterranean, of course, but the mountain as well. Mirazur was already the name of the restaurant when I arrived, and that's mean looking to the ocean, to the Azzurro, Mirazur. But for me, it was like a sign, you know, because it's as well we can interpret looking to the south. And I came from the south. I'm born in Argentina. All this area between Nice and Genova was a part of the Savoia Kingdom, and they developed a lot of different recipes. And we can see when you go to Nice or when you go to the Italy side, some difference, but you have a lot of things in common. It's really very interesting.
So what is it? Pumpkin and rice?
Today is pumpkins, potatoes, and that is I don't remember the name in English, but it's beef.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Like ragu?
like ragu, yes.
I feel really the power of finally a small enterprise like a restaurant can be huge, because we can change a territory, you can change the life of the people, we can change the world. It's true. We need to believe in something, and we can do it. We show how is Menton, or we put Menton in a map for a lot of people who never heard about Menton, like me before came to Menton. Because Menton is beautiful, and the territory is beautiful, and we want to keep Menton, or show Menton as we are. It's not just the town and the border. On the beginning, so we was three, me, Malvina, who was my first teacher in Argentina, and Kei Takeoka, a Japanese chef, really very talented, who worked with me in L'Arpège. And now we are in the kitchen, we are 22, and in total in the restaurant we are 45. We are a very solid team who basically work with me for between 10 and 6 years. So we start like a small restaurant, but with the big ambitions. We decide to never stop, and we decide to believe in how we do it, and to dream in how we can do it. So we continue always to increase, to keep people with us who want to change the world. We really are the restaurant is on the border. It's on the between the Italy and French border. We can walk 100 meters and we already are in Italy. So we have these two big food cultures, no? Italian and French, the sea, the Mediterranean, and the Alpines, the mountains. The very cosmopolitan team who we are give us a lot of freedom, a lot of open vision about how is local and how is the border and how is Italian or French and how is where is the limit between the sea and the mountains, between the French culture and the Italian culture here in this place. And we think is why I say it's a restaurant on the border without borders, because for us the border is more philosophical. No, what is the border? It's a line to divide, or is a trait for fusion or for make something more rich. It's a carrefour of culture. It's a carrefour of life. It's a carrefour of nature, and it's a point who really we find a very rich culture, diversity, a lot of diversity, no?
Haricots pis sésame, consommé de sanglier, dorade fumée, miroir noir, faisan, pomme renette, naran conflor.
Here we have the menu, and here we have the language of people because we give poem. So it's the poem is with in different language. So it depends the language of the guest we bring to him.
Basically, when we opened, we really was like a plain opening, no? We was totally loose, but we start to discover this area little by little, and it was amazing because it's a very rich area, no? These geographic things between this ocean, mountains. You have a lot of different territories, different weathers. So we start to go to the market every day. Practically, we visit the market in this period to discover some small village, towns in the countryside. Even every year, we continue to discover something new because we keep this very young vision about the area. I think that is one of the most important points or characters of Mirazur.
Will be difficult to live in a big city for us. You know, I live all my life in big cities like Buenos Aires, Paris, and now after 12 years, I think it will be very difficult for me to live in a big city. No, a esta, el de la mamá. Aquí. Ok.
Grazie. Raga.
Bello,
Bello. Solo che lavoro troppo. Questo vino è pallettino, portiamolo una lunga via e gli faccio il brindisi a tutta la compagnia. Bello, no? Poco mi pagata tu mi occu, tu stavi l'umbilico nella vampa di poco. Ciao Valentina. Mi dispiace che devo andare via.
Tuo fratello?
Sento mio fratello. vedi?
Piacere.
Adesso Valentin, il a des voitures.
Due la stessa cosa abbiamo.
Che fortuna avere una sorella così, eh?
Con tante energie.
Ciao. Sì, ma anche lui può mangiare bene.
La prossima volta, la tua casa.
Les copains, c'est pour la grande table.
C'est 80 ans chez vous.
Ah, super, super.
Ça va bien.
Vous savez sur Villa?
Oui, voilà.
C'est bien, c'est bien. Mais oui, il a la chance, voilà, un beau fils.
Oui, à midi.
Deux fleurs et deux tartes de menton. Et après, on va faire une double, une triple et une tête.
Le maintenir, c'est déjà bien, maintenir.
Voilà. He had 2 Michelin stars, and one day he decided to stop and to buy this place, who was already a restaurant run by the people here in Nice, the family from Nice. For me, one of the best in the area. Magnifique.
Not the skull, it's between the hair and the skull, and all this part is gelatinous. That's what we call the head. But we add the cheek and the tongue for the meat.
C'est fantastique, ça. Fantastic. You know, that is the dream of all the chefs. For I think in the future, why not? Yes, in Brazil, on the beach. Hello, ladies. So, this is my house. Yes, nice.
Not so big.
No, no. 120 meters.
And do you use these vegetables for your restaurant or for your...
For both. Now it's you have the beetroots, cauliflowers. There was all the strawberries, rhubarb. So this ruins was the villa of the king.
Okay.
And it was a fantastic garden. So all of that, of these fountains, was of the garden of the king. And we start to plant ornamental garden to a farmer garden. You know, that was all the fountains. The most beautiful is this kind of land. The price of this kind of land is very higher here. That is millions of dollars. But how is still not possible to build? The city give us the flat, the land, and it's unique because you have you know, before in the past that was very common to have gardens between the sea. But now it's finished because all these buildings of the villas, and so that is something very special because we don't find more lands like this. So, and really the taste of the vegetables become very salty and because the sea. So here we already plant that the leeks. So we need to grow a little more, but we start to use at this size, less or more. Then we start to put the green beans.
Okay.
Green beans for the February, because the winter here is not so cold. So we can plant now for the first ones in February. Here we have one of the last red cabbage because it was totally wild and they start to, so we recuperate, we try to keep well, you know, to repair little by little.
Pero el gato gusta comer carne.
Carne, sí. Pero no va a matar a la gallina, muy raro que mate a la gallina.
Pero la gallina que come.
And that is the grapefruit. This year I have a very nice grapefruits. As here as well, which this one. That is capers. You know who we now is the end, but we keep like this and we put in salt. That is the apricots, pears.
And this is
That is kaki. That is peach.
peach, yes.
Sorrels. So we have a lot of herbs, and we mix a lot for the biodynamic reasons, no? Because if we mix, that they protect by themselves, you know.
Okay.
Is very important, and it's necessary for us to give the good vision of Mirazur, because Mirazur is not just me. Mirazur is these people. Mirazur can't be the same without these people, without the team. For me, it was more important to show how look the guy who picked the mushrooms, as put a photo of mine, you know. The people know me, but they didn't know this guy who as important as me in the restaurant, or Jill who you meet in the markets, or the guy who fish for us. All these people here are really very important, and I think are the real heroes of gastronomy today, you know. Without these people, gastronomy can become very standard, and I work for diversity
Natalie.
in all of aspects of the life.
Il y a
20 ans.
99.
Parce qu'on voit le-
20 ans.
And how is interesting, he tell me, because he is take care of the land, is without any chemical product until for 24 years ago. So it's totally organic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, the taste. Of course, the taste. The first thing is how we do it with this ingredient, what I want in my palate, what is the emotion who I want to explain, to feel. Then is how we do it that beautiful. It's important, very important. My grandmother say me always I eat him by the eyes, but the first thing is the taste. With the presentation, practically you finish the dish. Then you can explain, no? You can build a nice history between that. But sometimes we don't need, and we just with the presentation we take on the way who we want to take our guests with the colors, flavors, sounds. It's a mistake when it's not connecting. When you make beautiful just for make beautiful. Sometimes it depends how you want to explain. Perhaps sometimes you don't want to explain something beautiful, something nice, or sometimes you want just to make something very natural. It depends on the dish. Normally, it's one of the dish who we want to change our attitudes about food. For proteins, for eat meats, for eat fish, we need to kill. And that for me is a kind of sacrifice. And in the past was like this, because in the past we kill by ourselves. My grandmother killed the chickens, my grandfather killed the porks. And now I can understand why they was angry when we less food on the plate. It's not was just a question of money. It was more a philosophy. And this bone on the plate, this anchovies bone, is a try to give this message at our guests. So this area is really very, very interesting because in the same water, the Italians fish one kind of fish, and the French they fish another ones. So that is really totally cultural thing, you know. It's really very interesting to be here in this situation between borders. You can see now we go to the Ventimiglia market, and you can see the difference.
Metti la nocciola dentro qua, che buono per fare qualcosa.
Poi hai visto i fagioli comunque? Sono buoni.
Now we will make something with that.
Oramai il fungo croccante.
Sono mandarini?
Quelle sono buonissime. No, io sono uscito.
Quello che collega la
Chef, vedi? Chef c'era. Te l'ho seguito tutto.
Coffee or cappuccino? Okay. I feel Argentinian because all my past and I grown there all my childrenness and my youngness age. So all my friends, best friends, and my family is still there. But in the same time, I feel French or Italian or Brazilian because my wife is Brazilian. The life can't have limits, can't have, and to put a person in a case like Argentinian or Russian or French or any things. I'm Coлагreco family. I'm born in Argentina. I live in France, and I am married with a Brazilian girl. I am Mauro.